All right, welcome to the PKG Show, aka Punches, Kicks, and Giggles. I'm your host, today, John Russell. My co-host is out right now doing another thing in the studio next door, Coy Lasan, comedian Coy. But he's going to be going with us next week or week after next. But I want to introduce somebody that you guys know that's probably seen him around in the caves or the ring. He's everywhere. And he is our John to me. And I was explaining what that is to a couple people, but he is world renowned as Dewey Cooper. Dewey Cooper, what's up, man? Good to see you.
I'm chilling, man. Things are well. I'm in Atlantic City, stuck in this PFL bubble quarantine for the next 17 days.
It's crazy, man. 17 days?
Yeah, the PFL does a 17-day quarantine, which is ridiculous. We own gyms. We have fighters fighting. Mm-hmm. It's kind of hard to ask someone to be going away for 17 days. But Bubba Jenkins, my partner in the gym, and my fighter is fighting against the two-time winning PFL champion Lance Palmer. So I had to come out here for the 17 days with Bubba Jenkins. Anyone else would be hard for me to do it, but with Bubba, it was no question. April 23rd is going down. Bubba Jenkins versus Lance Palmer in the PFL on ESPN. So check us out.
We're definitely going to check it out. We had interviewed Lance Palmer, came to DC a couple times when PFL was starting. So looking forward to talk to your guy Bubba too, because it's an interesting background what both of those guys had, where they were just dominant in wrestling, and back in the day, So I think it's a feel out match just to have first, because you always got that what if thing would have happened, and I think that was a really good matchup for the matchmakers to have, and I'm interested in seeing what your style has brought to Bubba. Being that he's been in, Brave and other organizations and going to this, how he, not to give away the game plan, but how he fights Lance Palmer. I think this is going to be a real interesting fight to see.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a great fight. Lance and Bubba has a history since junior high school together in wrestling tournaments and stuff of that nature, but they've never fought in the cage, and We'll be showing the world what that's gonna be like on April 23rd. We're confident, we're excited, and we feel we will be victorious on April 23rd, live on ESPN, PFL.
BKSS is in the house. Black Cobra Striking Systems. I see he's wearing the shirt and everything. Now, to get back what I said in the intro, John is basically a ranking within the Muay Thai system, something people know. I address Dewey Cooper as coach because he is not officially my John. I don't want my John to take offense to that, but as big as the martial arts world is, and I want to let everybody know on a personal note how much love and respect I got for DC Coach Dewey Cooper. Met him a long time ago. I think it was at the open trials for the second K1 when K1's supposed to go back. LA, where it was all dry, they had everybody on the concrete and stuff. And it was just crazy and unorganized, but I was glad to meet him. Then I saw him another time working with Babu, and I always respected you as an athlete, as a coach, as a martial artist, and also as a dad and family member. So Swati Cup for you.
Swati Cup. I remember that K1. It was myself, Alistair Overeem, Musato. From
Masato was my man to watch. I still study Masato.
Yes, and a few other people. We were the judges for that K1 audition, and that was also the first time I met Beast Mode James Wilson at that.
Who you work with now, coincidentally, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll never forget him coming out there, all them big old muscles.
Hell yeah. It was like, this dude's fighting.
Yeah.
We was working out on both feet or something.
Those were great times. And I definitely remember you, Russ, and I'm glad that this martial arts journey is keeping us going and keeping us moving forward and keeping us evolving in the sport too.
Absolutely. Like I said, even though I haven't physically trained with you, I consider you my coach and one of my crews on the West End. I think that's a misconception that is with martial arts, that a true martial artist is always still learning, and there's
Yes,
always
sir.
respect. And even though you work in the boxing world and
Yes.
the MMA world, the traditional martial artists, we
Yes.
learn from each other, and I'm still learning
Absolutely.
from you, regardless. And I had a chat for you, over a couple of weeks ago. It was like I didn't even know until the last minute our schools were competing, and even
Yes.
been there. And I was like, listen, whoever's there representation of me, they got to
Yes.
respect you as a coach, or they
Yes,
got a
sir.
problem with me because I learned from you. And the same thing likewise, if you came to DC or Virginia, and I had some people out there, and vice versa. That's just the way it works. That's the
Yes,
way
sir.
it's built on, and
Yes,
everything.
sir.
So I wanted to tell everybody about the array of athletes that you were, because I don't know. I think you're one of the most overworked trainers because the thing is, you're doing both MMA and boxing, and people forget about the boxing record that you had. You had an excellent
Yes.
boxing record.
Yes.
You know how to strike, and the thing is, dude, you know how to fight. You know how to
Yes,
bust
sir.
somebody's ass, and I think that's what counts. You know how to fight. Kevin Lee, Keith Lee, Darren Cunningham, Tim Chuamba, who was just talking about, Bubba Jenkins, of course, Daniel Strauss, Jessica Ragosi, who I
Yes.
think was your first champion.
Yes.
And,
Yes. And remember, Francis Ngannou from last week.
I'm gonna get the big man. I'm gonna get the big man, Francis Ngannou, Josh Johnson, yeah, from Glory,
Yes.
right? Josh Johnson
Yes.
and
Yes.
Carlos Takam, and that's
Yes.
probably just a few. That's probably
Yes.
not even a whole list, but to
Yes.
give everybody, that is a small list of the diverse way of styles, and the things that you provide, the Black Cobra striking systems to them, and see that they're taking on. I told everybody, man, I was like, man, if I go against Dewey as an opponent, even though we respect each other's schools, I was like,
Yes.
y'all motherfuckers better train your ass off, man. Because Dewey, ain't no bullshit. I was like, they sleep in training, man. They punching
Yes.
like this and stuff like that.
Yes.
Close,
Yes.
man. So, but yeah, Francis Ngannou, you got to talk about him, working with him, the UFC champion. You worked with him, since I believe he got in the UFC. He was right.
Well, since he got to America, it's been 4 years now. He left Africa. He ventured into France, and Coach Lopez trained him. They had a few fights, and he got in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
After a few fights in the UFC, he moved to Vegas.
Okay.
And when he moved to Vegas, I was contacted, and I met him, and I started training him then. So I was with Francis. We had the first Stipe fight. I was with Francis before the first Overeem fight. Before the Overeem fight, when he knocked him out with that monstrous uppercut and got knockout of the year,
Yes.
Francis trained with me for that fight as well. So I've been with Francis for a long time, not just his recent fights. It's been 4 years now. And yeah, I was fortunate enough to have them recommend me to Francis. Forrest Griffin actually did that recommendation when Francis first came to the U.S. Las Vegas to train at the UFC PI, and Forrest reached out to me, told him about me, and called me, and the rest is history. We've been rocking out ever since.
And y'all made history, man. Tell me about how raw he was back then, 4 years ago, to the point he got to now. And one thing I wanted to say, I noticed on his last fight that he was doing leg kicks. I was like, man, that's all Dewey right there. I was like, I saw the leg kick. I was like, yo, that's all Dewey right there, man. I know that's
See, Francis, when he got here, he was always athletic. He was always powerful and all of that. His only thing, he was inexperienced as far as fighting years. He was at that 3 year to 4 year complete total martial arts training.
Yeah.
Remember, a lot of these guys you see in the UFC, they may only been pro MMA for 5 years or 8 years, but they've been training for 10 years before that. So a lot of these guys we see in all these pro leagues in MMA, they've trained 5, 6, 10 years before they ever even got involved in MMA, most of them, or at least they wrestled since they were children, and they got involved in MMA afterwards. Francis is very rare. He had done no training. He didn't start training until he was 26 years old.
And that's late in the game.
Yeah, very late in the game. So when he fought Stipe, 3.5 years ago, he was only 3.5 years in the game, 4 years in the game total, man. To come from working in the sand fields of Cameroon to going to a gym in France to want to be a boxer, end up being an MMA fighter, and the fight for the UFC title against a great champion like Stipe within a 4-year time frame total is unheard of, man. That's unheard of.
It is an unheard of thing, and the work you guys are doing, you and Eric and the rest of the team is. I don't see nobody. I don't see nobody messing with him for quite a time, even for I really don't.
Yeah, well, that's our goal. That's the vision, and we plan on making that a reality. But everything will be on a per fight basis. Just staying humble, staying studious, and just continuing to improve. And that's all about the mentality of the fighter. As long as they're willing to just keep pushing themselves, finding renewal ways of motivating themselves, he will keep getting better, keep improving, and will be very, very difficult to overthrow as far as the championship is concerned. And that's what we plan. We plan on him having a run, a historic run in UFC. We plan on him changing the whole landscape of mixed martial arts and developing legacies like Mike Tyson had and other heavyweight champions, Lennox Lewis, Joe Louis, these type of guys, but for the world of mixed martial arts. That's the vision, and hopefully we'll start that off fighting John Jones, in his next fight.
Which it would be a super fight, fans and everybody, just athletes are known. And that's somebody that you know personally too, that you consider a friend. But business side, unfortunately, it might be one of those things that has to happen, man. And everybody you're watching the Punches, Kicks, and Giggles show, aka the PKG Show. I'm your host, John Russell, DJ Russell, featuring my guest, Dewey Cooper, who I should have had on here years ago, but and the schedule's sometimes our schedule's complete, but we got him on here now. And he's my co-host, Koila-san. Good to have him here. Ask him more questions about now. I want to confirm this. I think you've been quoted as saying Francis Ngannou hits like a sledgehammer at full strength. Is that true?
Yes, he does. He hits. His power is very hard to compare to anything. I mean, he's a monster. I mean, he hits harder than that. I mean, he's just a strong, powerful dude, and part of it is genetics, part of it is the way he grew up, and part of it is just God blessing him with these superb attributes.
Yeah, and sometimes I look at your body shield, that big red pad. I was like, Coach Cooper has to have that thing like doubled up or tripled up to take that kind of power, man. I don't know. And I was like, he has to be. I don't know how you hold top pads for Francis Ngannou. I was like, you gotta be icing your forearms like every time after every session, man. It has to be something crazy and special.
Well, it's definitely painful. I can't lie, but in K1 I fought heavyweights. Though I was a small heavyweight, I fought guys actually bigger than Francis in my career as a professional. With no shin pads and 10-ounce gloves. So he hurts me often in training, actually, but he hurts Dewey Cooper. He doesn't hurt the Black Cobra, so I just go in Black Cobra mode, and I could absolutely take the damage. It's not nice when I go home. I'm sore as hell, but at that moment when I click in that Black Cobra mentality, I could hold past for anyone, man. I could get shot and keep going. I just really feel like mentally, once I lock into that Black Cobra mode, pain is just numb and doesn't exist.
You going
after
off
I get out of Black Cobra mode. Yeah, after I get out of that mode and go back to Dewey Cooper, then I'm busting the hell up.
Yeah. Absolutely do it. What are some of the guys that I'm pretty sure you've been in demand, you and your nephew, Big David, who's working with who are some of the guys that you work with that you haven't had a chance to work with yet, or you're just pretty much to the point where like, you know what, I'm fully booked. I would like to work with that guy right now, but I got too much on my table. Is anybody out there in particular that, I know you're going to be doing this for a while, but anybody you want to catch before you know, like, hey, their career is over. Let me just train them for one more fight. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's funny you bring that up. The answer was normally no, but just last week, an old friend of mine contacted me, and he's having this retirement fight, and he said, "Man, if there's only one coach in the world I like to work with, it would be you, Coach Dewey." And I accepted. My man Rudy Morales.
Okay.
He fights for a real MMA here in Vegas. Rudy, he's gonna be fighting for that Combatis MMA show. A bunch of Latin fighters they have on there.
Yeah. Familiar with that.
Yeah.
Campbell McLaurin, who founded the UFC, founded that.
Yes. Comes on UFC Fight Pass. A real good company. So I'm gonna do that for him. Because Rudy's been a long time friend, and he hollered at me and wanted me to have his retirement fight with me. So I'm taking that as an honor and definitely doing it. But a lot of people contact me all the time, like UFC fighter Emil Meek from Sweden, Moldova UFC fighter the Hulk, Juan Kutaleba. He's fighting May 1st. A lot of guys reach out to me, and I have a rule: if you have a fight coming up and want to train with me, we're gonna train. I get very little sleep, man. People don't realize how many hours a day I put into this. But I'm willing to do it because martial arts and fighting is something that I truly love. It's something that's truly in my soul. And it's something that really saved my life from being a lot worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, on the other side of the street or in the grave. I get you.
You know, grew up in LA and that gang banging thing. The crack epidemic was popping off. I got brothers who dealt drugs and gang bang, rolling 60s Crips. Real was not the ones that's all over the country now. I'm talking about the ones that was really putting in work.
Yeah, so like the OGs.
Yes, the OGs. If it weren't for martial arts, man, who knows what path I'd be on. I don't think I'd be able to talk to you and have people that admire me for doing something positive for the world, for sure. So I have that rule, man. If someone want to train, they got a fight coming up, I'm willing to not get sleep. I don't give a fuck if we got to train 3 in the morning to 5 in the morning. I'm gonna make sure we get it in, and that's one thing. I pride myself on. Anyone that knows me, anyone that's ever trained with me, even guys who don't train with me anymore, you know, world champions like Jesse Vargas or Babu Shumanov or Amir Dalla, because Amir retired undefeated with me. I guarantee they'll tell you, yeah, one thing about Dewey, he'll work. He don't give a fuck. He'll go 2 days without sleep to get everybody to work in, man. Seriously. I'll go all day without water, food. I'll go from 7 in the morning till 11 o'clock at night, straight through. 20 fighters, hour after hour, all the way through, and want me to drink water. And I've done it before just to show people. Kevin Lee talks about it on interviews. Keith Lee, they've seen me go 12 hours straight and not even stop. Consistent rounds all the way through. Because when I lock in the Cobra mode, man, I'm willing to die to put this work in. Because without me putting this work in, my life would have never been this in the first place.
And I think that's the thing to rub off on what you're fighting. You know, if they are in that mentality, they can be successful.
And think about this: just that dedication to the martial arts has me 9 world titles won as a coach now.
Damn.
9 world titles. And what 4 different fight sports, boxing, real professional boxing, WBA, WBO titles won, Babu Jesse, and WBC, WB, IBF, Jessica McCosey locked all the belts at 135. So I won all the belts with Jessica before even Babu and Jesse. But men's boxing is considered the highest level or whatever. But I won the WBA world title with Amir Abdallah, kickboxing. I won the bare knuckle world title with Christine Faria. And now we won that UFC world title with Francis Ngannou. 4 different pugilistic sports. I won world championships as a coach. And without me being willing to train 20 guys in a row, without me being willing to just push myself beyond physical desire, water, food, all this shit, I would never be here. Because who knows, I probably wouldn't have those guys. Those guys probably wouldn't believe in me unless they see me really put my health and my uncomfortableness on the line. I really feel a lot of coaches don't understand. We need to sweat. We need to bleed with our guys. So in that last moment, that last round when it's a top fight, we look them in their fucking eyes and say, we gotta win this shit. I need you letting your hands go. I need you outworking him. Period. They're willing to do it because I've had my mouth busted holding pads and the guy missed the pad and kicked me. You know, I've had all that. So when you do that with your fighters and keep rocking out with them, they're willing to go that extra mile for you. So I'm so blessed that martial arts saved my life and put me in the position that I am today.
Yeah, man. There's not too many coaches or trainers that can say they won that many titles as you are in a diverse amount of combat sports. As you said, bare knuckle, UFC, Bellator, Muay Thai, kickboxing, all those in boxing, you know, it's just all wrapped up in one. And I think the proof is in the pudding from the work you're saying, like the sacrifice you get, they getting up. Describe for me like a typical day. And I know it changes every day with you, Coach Cooper.
Yes.
Typical day with you coaching. When does it start? When does it end? Take me through some things. You take some of your titles through. With the difference between, is there a difference between boxing and MMA or kickboxing? Or does everybody?
Yes, absolutely. Well, Carlos, first of all, training the boxers is the hardest because while kickboxers too, the strikers is the hardest because they only have one coach, so you're with them 6 days a week.
Right.
The MMA is actually a little easier because they have a few days where they just wrestle or do ground type training, grappling, jiu-jitsu. So you get like 2-day hiatuses with the MMA guys. Of course, I like to go there and watch them grapple and all of that too, but you don't necessarily have to.
Right.
But with the boxers, it's Monday through Saturday every day. We change the intensities when there's fights coming up, but we train every day with the boxers and kickboxers. So my day starts off 7 in the morning. I'm at the gym at 8 a.m. Carlos Takam, the French heavyweight boxer, also from Cameroon, just like Francis, who knew Francis in France before Francis got here. Carlos Takam, we train 8 till 9:30. Then, Timmy Kwamba comes in 9:30 to 10:30. Then we have a striking class with all the amateur guys and whoever I have. Then after that, we have Bubba Jenkins train at 12:30 to 1:30. After that, Jamie Mitchell, my boxer who just fought on Clarissa Shields undercard and got the only knockout of the entire show, trains from 1:30 to 2:30. You know, it just goes on and on. Then I have to be at the gym for Francis at 3:30 at Extreme Couture Gym, a whole different gym.
Right.
And then if some of these guys have to spar like Bones Adams' gym or One Kick's gym, then I have to shoot there at 5:30. So, and then I have to still pick my daughter up from basketball practice. So from like 6:30, I leave wherever I'm doing, get showered at 7, get her home, and I head back to the gym by 8. So I'm basically going every day, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Saturdays is a bit easier. We do a group training. We hit the mountain and do training up there and stuff like that. So Saturday is a great day. We all hook up and we all train together. May do a 7-mile run in the mountains. Then we hit pads and do offense, defensive drills for another 45 minutes. So Saturdays is like from 9 a.m. to about 3 p.m. And then Sunday's the one day we rest, give thanks and bless, and we right back at it. So yeah, man, it's and I've been doing this my whole life. Even when I was fighting, I still was coaching people. This thing James Krause is doing with the UFC, he's beating people up and he has fighters. I was doing that way back in the late 90s all the way through. I fought on shows where I was the main event. I had 2 people fighting on the undercard. I worked their corner, then got my hands wrapped and got ready for my fight. So I've always done this, and I've always been a busy guy since I was a kid. As a kid, I played all the sports. I was doing martial arts at 10, Muay Thai I was playing football, playing basketball, and running track all the way through. In college, I was still doing my Muay Thai kickboxing training when I went to college and played college football. So my whole life has been busy. And that's how I was able to stay away from the streets and get too caught up in the money my brothers were making and that gangbang life too crazy. And every now and then I looked up to my brothers, especially my brother Paul. So I go out there, go to Watts, go to South Central, get in some fights, you know, shit like that. Paul would sometimes give me money to knock a dude out who came up short of the consignment. You know,
Right.
think about this. I'm 13, 14 years old, fighting grown men.
Man, that's crazy.
It was crazy. And by the way, I love my brother, not dissing him. It was just he was a bit misguided. You know, when we have the power to control the youth, we should always try to point them in a positive direction, not necessarily a what's cool or what's trendy direction. And I think my brother made a mistake in that, but he's not a bad guy. It was just that was cool and exciting to him, so he didn't realize the accountability of what it takes to be mature
Right.
and the one that leads people. And I learned these things through martial arts. You know what I mean? So anyway, man, you know, I'm blessed, I'm happy, and I'm still motivated. I'm gonna keep training hard, and we hopefully plan on winning a hell of a lot more before it's all over.
Yeah, man, and you know, you're right. It very easily could have went the other way for you and your brother. So, you
Yes,
know, I'm glad you're here. You're here for a reason. It's not a
yes,
mistake
sir.
that
Yes,
we're
sir.
here talking to each other through martial arts. And I could say the
Yes,
same thing for me. You know, martial arts could have saved my life in some kind of way, shape, or form or fashion. Where there was a day I could have been in the gym, but I could easily cross the street and got hit by a bus or got caught up in a drive-by. You know,
yes,
whatever. You know, so you know, it does save us from a lot of things, you know. So
yes.
I'm glad we're here.
And it's important us being brothers that grew up from that era. You know what I mean? It's very important because honestly, we ain't got a lot of people like us, the real
Yeah,
ones, doing this. You know, and that's why I think we can galvanize so many young people from the hood and guys with that street mentality because we ain't on some simp.
hmm
Um, weak stuff. We'll look them in their face and check them, and we down to knuckle up if they want to and all of that. But we've lived a lifestyle that they're living right now, and when they look at us and hear our stories, they know we telling the truth. It ain't like I was always in the suburbs or
right,
I was
right.
always, you know, had friends that had airplanes and yachts and shit. You know,
Yeah,
we were
yeah.
from the hood, man. You know what I mean?
You
And I
never
remember
seen
them
nothing like that.
days.
Yeah,
You
and
know, I
you
remember
know,
going to all black schools. You know what I mean? First time I went to a school with white people in it, I was in 5th grade. I'll never forget walking into that classroom the first time and being the only black person in it. It's been a
mhm.
long time now. I'm 46 now, but I still remember, you know, growing up a certain way, and I had to learn how to speak better and not be so freaking aggressive and all these type of things. So you know what I'm saying, John. You know it
I
goes
know
deep. A
exactly
lot,
what you're saying.
and a lot of people don't understand that. They see us now and think, oh, we were straight cut karate dudes or something. They don't
Right,
realize, man,
right.
we had the
It
same.
don't exist, man. It don't
Yes,
exist. The martial arts school that I learned Taekwondo in, the city was named Marlow Heights.
yes.
You know, if it got heights in it, you know it's something. You know, it's an urban problem. You know what I'm saying? And it was black rain. So I was
Yes,
like, you know, it's a big misconception, and you know this, even
yes,
or just I don't know why it is like this that black guys or urban guys cannot be successful or positive in martial arts where you
yes,
know they look for and nothing against boxing, where they
yeah,
see boxing making the money, but you can be
yeah.
very successful and actually probably learn a little bit more in the street how to defend yourself
That's
more
right.
martial arts than
That's right.
than boxing, and you know
Yes,
that
sir.
firsthand. So Dewey, look, I'm gonna challenge you on this. So if you start a nonprofit or a charity, and we, you know, you want to get together and save these kids, get them off the streets, man. You know I'm down. I
Yeah, I
think
mean,
that's
we
the biggest
already do.
legacy that we can
I
pass on.
mean, yeah, we already do. I started a college fund in the Philippines for my Black Cobra promotions.
Hmm.
We took the top 10 students in the local Yun province and paid for their college last year,
That's what's up.
2020, for my show. At the halftime before the co-main, the main event, we actually called the kids up there, gave them their scholarship money. We paid for their school for four
My man.
years, all of that. I've been involved way back in the days, the DARE program. Like I said, martial arts saved my life. So even in high school, when I got out of that thuggish type thing, um, I was in the dare program. I was talking to elementary school kids way back then. I've always given to the homeless. Every year, Christmas, we do a big homeless run, and battered youth is my passion. I love the kids, and I've been giving back to battered youth programs all over California and Vegas since 1994. I don't even know how that's
long.
What, 20? I don't know how many years. That's 27 years.
Yeah, I was getting out of high school close around that time. So
yeah,
it was a long time.
So yeah, I've always done a lot of that, and we still do. We just make sure we do deep research on the people we invest with and we give to, because we definitely like to make sure our donations go to the proper channels.
Okay.
And by the way, that's something great Francis Ngannou was doing. That Francis Ngannou Foundation in Cameroon is blowing up. He has a beautiful school for the kids, and not just for martial arts, for real schooling. They do school curriculum, and they learn their mixed martial arts. So he's doing big with that, opening several different schools as we speak now. So he's making a huge difference right now. Before he won the championship, winning the championships is going to give him the ability to make even a bigger difference, in his region of the world. So very proud of him for that type of thing, man. He's a real awesome dude, especially at his age. He's in his prime right now at the age of 34. Guys can be partying and doing a lot of other things, man. So he has his head, straight, and he's doing great things, not just for himself. He's doing it for a lot of other people right now.
Yeah, this whole community, man. But keep me posted on what you're doing too. So, man,
yes.
I can go ahead, contribute to that, and be a part of that success.
Yes, sir.
That's
yes,
important.
Sir.
That's always important for me to do. But tell me, where did Teddy Atlas fit into the situation? Because we saw a lot of videos with him and Francis. Was that all publicity?
Well, I'm already a boxing championship winning coach. Eric, called Teddy Atlas, had him come by. That it was a few sessions. Nothing
serious.
Yeah. I mean, nothing continuous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Francis has been working. We work left hooks with Francis all the time. You know what I mean? So that was Eric Nixick's idea. He's a huge fan of Teddy Atlas and all of that. So Eric on his time invited Teddy in to do all those type of things. I have no problem with it. Teddy Atlas and no one else makes me feel less than or greater than or anything. I know my level of expertise, and when it comes to boxing, striking, everything he said in that video, I've been saying. Francis has been hearing that for 4 years. So it's just sometimes good to hear from someone that's revered and legendary and all of that. So it reconfirms that, okay, my coaches know what they're doing. So that's why, it was cool of Eric to do. It's not something I do because I've put in 36 years into this pugilism, into fighting,
you put in the
learning. And when I was fighting heavyweights, I was giving up so many attributes. I had to really learn the techniques of striking. So that's why I went to the Mayweathers and learned under them over 20 years. And
I remember seeing those pictures.
Yes, I learned real boxing. I'm not just some Muay Thai kickboxer who thinks he can box. I learned the real boxing. So the people I refer to are the Mayweathers if I need advice, Master Nick Blumgren or Rob Kamen if I was feeling, and Peter Cunningham. I would refer to these type of guys if I really felt like, and Tony Valente also. I wouldn't reach out to other people, though they're great, they're legendary. I think it's all about your personal taste for who you look up to and who you admired as a youth. And so Eric has a big admiration for Teddy, so he invited him in to work some things.
Right.
One last thing I'll say about that, and you know how this is. Any person who is equipped with a certain level of expertise is okay with other people with certain levels of expertise. Because just because you're great, it doesn't make me not great if I'm great. If you're great, you're great. If you're an expert, you're an expert. If we are black belts at what we do, and we are definitely certified masters at what we do, another master can't make us feel like we're inadequate. So I was okay with him bringing whoever he wanted to bring in. I wouldn't do it, but it's okay, because whether it's Teddy Atlas, whether it's Eddie Futch, Emmanuel Stewart, rest in peace, Kenny Adams, who's working with Jamie Mitchell while I'm here right now, I'm okay with it, because I know what I bring to the table. I know my level of expertise, and all they're going to do is reconfirm what we're already doing. And that's a good thing, because it shows my actual level of expertise in the first place. So, people make it seem like, oh, that's something, he was taught by Teddy. We all throw left hooks the right way. We all tell guys to pivot their hip. Don't reach with it. Boom, just a quick turn. We're all saying the same thing. So it was good to see Teddy reconfirming what we already do.
Well said, Dewey. Dewey, you spoke about your promotion a little bit earlier. Is there a timeline on the next one? Would things start to open up?
Well, when things open up, the Philippine market is really crazy, because from like September till late December is monsoon season, so you can't do nothing. Definitely no later than the second week of September, because it rains all the time, all the way through December. So ultimately, you got, and then they're very Catholic, so Christmas is a huge thing. Christmas don't stop being celebrated till the second week of January. Basically, you got from the third week of January all the way till beginning of September to do things. We choose February. My last show was February 8th of 2020 there. That was right before the pandemic hit. 3 weeks later, boom, the borders were closed. And the borders in the Philippines are still closed right now. You can't get there even now. My lady's first cousin dad passed away 3 days ago in the Philippines, and she can't even get there to get to the funeral. That's how serious it is. If you don't have a first national passport for the Philippines, you can't even get in there now. So once it's open, as long as it's within that certain time frame of February to early September, we'll do something. If not, in a perfect world, I would love to be back there in February next year. It's the perfect time, because we'd have to get the clearance from the government. They'd have to release all the borders. And by the way, there's different provinces in the Philippines, and the provinces are locked down. People can't even go out of their houses. Check it out. It's crazy right now. They're still super tight in the Philippines about this thing. So you can't even go from province to province. That would be like you not being able to go from D.C. to Virginia. It's crazy.
It's super locked down.
So once it's open and they're allowing people to travel, crowds can be in events, then we'll start back. So in a perfect world, I'm sure by next February we'll be back, Black Cobra Promotions, doing more boxing in the Philippines, and eventually going throughout Asia and gaining momentum and getting into other countries as well.
I'm going to be looking out forward to it. Tell your lady send my condolences to her too.
Yes.
It's never easy to lose any family member on that. But with the celebrity boxing and everything upticking now, first of all, I know you know people in Hollywood. So have you been contacted by a celebrity? But yet to participate in this, this kind of
no,
everybody's been doing it.
I definitely would be open to it, especially with Mike Tyson doing this Legends League and all of that. I'm definitely down to get back in shape and jump in the ring against anybody, whether it's boxing, kickboxing, or an MMA fight. Secondly, the only person I've really been in contact with was the Jake Paul camp, because BJ Flores is Jake Paul's coach. For BJ's last few fights, I was his coach. And BJ Flores and I have been friends for many, many years. Back when I was fighting, he used to spar with me. When he had fights against the Southpaw, I would spar with him. BJ's always been a really, really cool guy. We've always been cool. So BJ had me come in for Jake Paul's camp when he was getting ready for that Nate Robinson fight. So I was watching Jake train, and I was refereeing his sparring. I brought in some guys from the spar. this type of thing. And you know, Jake Paul was, you know, he was impressive for the amount of experience and the amount of fights he had. You know, he was impressive. I brought a few guys in with a lot of experience who should have been able to dust them off. And it was the opposite. He dusted them off. So, you know, Jake Paul ain't bad. I expect Jake Paul to beat Ben Askren by knockout, you know, within 3 rounds of this upcoming fight on April 17th also. So that's about the only Hollywood thing I've done. Oh, by the way, Donna Dragon Wilson contacted me, did a movie and put my daughter in it.
That's what's up, man. Don, you're a legend.
Yeah, Don kept it real. But that's it. I'm a fight coach, and my passion is with the fighters and all of that. So I don't want to get too Hollywood anyway. I like to win several championships.
You big on social media though. You know, your social media is growing, so I wouldn't be surprised if one of these celebrities ask you, but like, Coach Dewey, I need you in my corner. You know, I always gotta ask that about, you know, seeing if you would be open up to it, which you already stated you would. How you balance that time with your other fighters and stuff.
Yeah, and John, you're a martial artist just like me. Once you become a black belt and you start moving up in the degrees of black belt, that's the responsibility that we have to pass that knowledge on. That's one of the responsibilities that we have. So we definitely got to be passing that knowledge on. Otherwise, we're being selfish, because that black belt does help people, not just in self-defense, in life, man. Because when you start reaching plateaus and levels that you felt you couldn't reach, it just makes you feel better inside about yourself. That silent ear that we never talk about. You know, people may think we're big, badass dudes. We could be the most depressed, sad people in the world. And people are a lot like that sometimes. They're famous, they're awesome, but they're depressed and sad because they don't have those self-fulfilling things that they've accomplished. And getting black belts and you know, being in the gyms, being in the dojos, training, having people bow to you, being able to see a person who couldn't kick today, 6 months from now, he's kicking better than you, are great rewards that the soul needs quenching through. And so us being black belts, man, we got to keep passing that on, to keep giving the people, helping them enrich themselves and find something within themselves they didn't have before, the same way it did for us, man. So, yeah, no matter what, an actor, a woman, a kid, anyone wants to train, and they're serious about training, I'm going to make sure I find time to train them. I don't care if it's on my only off day Sunday. Yo, meet me in my house at the Cobra Chamber. I got a full functional gym in my house.
Right.
Yo, meet me at the park.
You're building a new gym too, right?
Yeah. I got treadmills, stair steppers, elliptical bikes, spin bikes. I got the whole shit right there at the crib. But we meet at the park, go to my gym, whatever. If you truly want to learn this martial arts thing, I'm going to make time for you no matter what, because that's our responsibility to the art, being the masters that we are. And I really feel that way.
I agree with you 100%, man. That's our responsibility to pass down a legacy in a positive way and in good hands at that, and not just to get it anybody, to get it people that's serious about it and that can control it for the next generations. I'm with you on that. Absolutely, man. How far do you think we're away from, you know, we talk about the celebrity boxing, but how about celebrity MMA or celebrity kickboxing? Do you think we ever see that, or that's just way too dangerous?
I feel like people don't realize boxing is the most dangerous fight sport. More people die in boxing than any other sport every year. It's crazy. It's some kind of vision in our minds, but boxing is more dangerous than MMA, man. Because how many people have died in the sport of mixed martial arts since it started 26 years ago? Maybe 3. Maybe 3 people.
And it's mostly due to weight
in boxing last year, 2020, in a 2-month span, 3 people had died in boxing. People die every year in boxing. Boxing is by far the most dangerous pugilistic sport because of the headshots and the level of expertise these guys are, how many fights they've had as amateurs, how many times they've been hit in the head. Boxing is a very dangerous sport. So to answer your question, I don't think they'll be doing celebrity MMA and celebrity kickboxing because they think it's too dangerous, it's too deadly. All of this, it's not that it's too dangerous. You just get more superficial injuries in these sports. A knee injury, break your foot, these sort of things in MMA and kickboxing, you know what I mean? So it wouldn't be worth it for an actor to throw a kick and break, and rupture his Achilles. But it's much more dangerous in boxing. Taking those goddamn headshots are brutal, man. So I don't think they'll go that route because the severity, real time versus the danger.
See, I'm always thinking a head kick is more dangerous than a punch too.
Of course, no, a head kick is more powerful, John.
Yeah.
But how many head kicks people land in a fight versus right hands
and punches? I get you.
Know what I mean? And remember, the head kick is definitely more brutal, but being knocked out is a safety mechanism so you don't get killed.
Yeah.
So the head kick may knock you out, but the right hands may buzz the shit out of you, and you'll take 60 of them, and your brain ends up swelling, and you end up dying yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which has happened.
You know what I mean? So the punches may not have that resounding one strike kill that a kick would, but you're going to take more of those punches, and it has a long-term effect on you more. Being knocked out is actually a good thing because the punishment is over. When you take it time and time, minute after minute, round after round, and you go home with migraines and your head feels swollen and you can't sleep, that's when you're really fucked up. That's why boxing is so much more dangerous. And like I said, just check the numbers. People die in boxing every year.
There we go.
It's almost to the point where we're kind of used to it. We put our condolences out, but we're like, hey, that boxing, man, it's a brutal sport. It's just mixed martial arts, kickboxing, all that is tougher on the body with the limbs being injured. But the head trauma of boxing is far worse.
Speaking with Dewey Cooper, the Black Cobra himself, live from New Jersey. So City, I'm here in Northern VGA. We're talking about his coaching career, what's going on, and catching up with the Joneses with him only on the PKG Show, aka Punches, Kicks, and Giggles, the only show we talk about combat sports. Jay Russell, Dewey Cooper's here. Dewey, I want to ask you about the tail end of your career. Your last bout, I think, was around 2014.
2015. 2015. It was against Peter Orts.
The great lumberjack, Peter Orts. Yeah.
Yes.
So look, I want to ask you, like, did you get an invitation to Glory around that time? Because I think Glory was just starting up. No, Glory started around 2012. And I always wanted to see you compete in Glory. I was just saying that being that you fought Ertz, and I think he was out of Glory too, but no.
He fought in Glory. Thing was, K1 was still doing events. I was on a contract with K1, and after the Peter Orts fight, I was training Bebu Shumanov already, and I was training Jesse Vargas. I just got Jesse Vargas. We ended up knocking out Saddam Ali, winning the WBO belt, and then we had that Pacquiao fight.
That's all you did.
DC Armory, yes, sir.
I was with you.
Yes, and then we got that Pacquiao fight, and it came down to a point where I've had four major knee surgeries, not including the 2 knee scopes. I was in my, just turned 40 years old, and I started making more money coaching than I was fighting. You know what I mean? People don't realize the money I made in those 2 Jesse Vargas fights, especially in the Pacquiao fight. I tripled my money in that fight than what I made than what I made against Peter Orts. So it came down to a point where, and by the way, when I trained for fights, I trained, that Mayweather style, a lot of training, hours and hours. It ain't just a 2-hour thing. I'm putting in 6 to 7 hours of training a day. So it got to the point where I just can't dedicate myself the way I always did and still train all these fighters. Before, when I was fighting my whole career, I mentioned I had fighters on my undercards, but I only had 2 or 3 fighters. Jessica Rakosi, Frank Mundahar, and who else did I have? Jessica Rakosi, Frank Mundahar, and like Shannon Reed. people like that, or Jimmy Spicuzza. So I had 2 or 3 fighters, so I could train all day, put 3 hours into them, and we're done. But now, later on in my career, I got 16 fighters. 12 of them already pro, 2 of them already UFC, 2 of them highest level in the world of boxing. So it got too hard for me to be able to dedicate myself to the fighting arts and also train these people. And I got a daughter. I'm looking at the future too. My daughter Charlotte was young. I gotta be able to provide for her a way better life than I had early on. So it came down to business with me. It came down to I'm making way more money as a coach than fighting. I've been fighting since I was a kid, so I never actually officially retired because I was gonna come back to fighting if my coaching slowed down or if I had time to do it. But right now the amount of revenue I make just it
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it outweighs the fighting situation. Plus, I'm old now. You know what I mean? It would have to be a perfect situation or the perfect offer for me to want to really lock in and do 6-hour days to fight. I would do it, but it'd have to be a serious opportunity. Otherwise, passing it on, being a coach now is the next natural transition for me. So when the glory came around, I already had Jesse Vargas, Beirut Shumanov. I was training Keandre Gibson. I had Revshon Donazaro, Sanjar Rachmanov from the money team, Thomas Hill from the money team, Travis Holyfield from the money team. I had so many fighters, it just didn't make sense for me to be selfish and train for me when I'm gonna
make a lot of sense, man.
Make a third of the money on making training all these guys. And I'm further pushing the brand BKSS because that's when it first started when I stopped fighting. So I just thought I had to think from more of a business savvy mind than just my physical desire, because I still love to fight and I wanted to fight more, but I just couldn't take the loss like that.
Nah, it makes perfect sense, Dewey. And I'm glad you explained that to us and our viewers that's going to be watching this, because I would have made the same decision too. You know what I'm saying? Or it comes to make sense. I got a young daughter in this world, need to take care of, and I got more money coming in coaching. It's to me, it's a no-brainer.
Remember, I already won 2 world titles. I already got inducted in the Masters Martial Arts Hall of Fame in 2008. You're talking about 8 years after being inducted in the Hall of Fame. I was fighting because there was still money opportunities and because I truly loved it in my heart. But I felt like I didn't have anything else to prove. Of course, if someone challenged me, hell yeah, I'm gonna fight you then. But the business just got greater, and I was helping young guys reach their dreams. I got a few fighters signed with Mayweather Promotions that came from different countries. That was very, very rewarding. These guys, came to America with nothing, and I talked to Leonard and got to Floyd Mayweather Jr. and got them signed and helped better their lives with their families here in America to this day. So all those things really compounded in the reasons why I didn't fight anymore. And I'm happy I did, because I don't want to be the old guy that lost the step and still have to do it. You know what I mean? Because I got my daughter goes to one of the top high schools in the country, Bishop Gorman.
I see her playing ball. She's balling.
It costs more money. It costs more money than UNLV, a high school. But it's a great school. I'm not saying it's to brag. It's just
I get what you're saying.
Bills, and I had to go with the best option to make money.
Right, because like you said, if you went the other way, you couldn't be able to provide that kind of lifestyle for your daughter if it wasn't for the things that you've done to get you the way you need. I get it, and I think that's something that everybody needs to consider when they're evaluating situations such as similar like yours, Dewey. So thanks for sharing that. And did you know next month there's a K1 reunion? Did you hear about that? It's going to be in Lyon, France, where they're having some old guys coming back out and fighting.
No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah,
and by the way, I got offered to fight.
The guy you fought is competing in there, Mighty Mo.
Yeah, wow. Mighty Mo normally calls me and asks me to help him train and stuff. So who knows? I'll probably be getting that call soon. It's
a month away. He better call you quick.
Yeah. But but that's crazy. I didn't hear about that. If I'm available, I'm gonna fly out there just to go there, you know, and see it. Yeah, I would love to see it.
Yeah, me too. I'm thinking if they once they put some more information out, if they let people in, if it's not closed, I'll definitely go fly to France and go watch it because
yeah. And I got friends out there. I got friends out there. Jerome LeBanner's out there.
He's on the card too.
Out there.
He's on the card.
Yes. I got friends out there, so I'm gonna definitely go check that out.
Yeah, Freddie Mayo was on it.
Yeah. I'm gonna definitely check that out. As long as I don't have, unless we're in camp for John Jones or something crazy where I can't leave, I'm gonna definitely go check that out.
Yeah, and one thing, you know, I know you was like say you mentioned you was a fan of Overeem too, but you know, even when he fought Nagano, you know, still kind of a fan with him. With him retiring, you know, UFC cut. I honestly thought he should, if they doing this reunion, why not go back and take one more fight with K1 or Glory where he was dominant, just to see how he looked, just to end it on a good note. Because you know, he's good. I think that's my opinion. I haven't interviewed him, spoke with him, but that's something I was like.
Yeah, but I think he's signed with Ryzen or one of those Japanese companies, and will be fighting again because Overeem still has a huge stock value, so he can still make money, and I really think he should finish his career in Japan anyway, because you know it all started there, and I think he should finish it there. Of course, the France thing is great too, but I really think now he considers himself more of an MMA fighter, and would probably want to stay in that realm. But of course, we love to see him in kickboxing or any of these guys, man. We love to see him. Boxing's doing it. We're gonna see Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield. We're gonna see Miguel Cotto and Marquez. You know, I heard Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. is coming back. Oscar De La Hoya is coming back. I mean, yeah, you know, the kickboxing guys should do some stuff too.
You know, it's funny we hear all these guys calling out the MMA guys, right? But it's never in your friend and somebody that we know. Scott Coker has been open. It's just like, okay, we can do it, but get one of your guys to come to the cage too. You know, it's some kind of holdback. I don't understand it. To me, it's a fight. It's a fight. You gotta take poison as well as you receive it. You know?
Yes, for
people,
sure. But
people don't want to get in the cage, do it?
Yeah, but remember, we can't say that because everybody remembers the Randy Couture versus James
Tony. Yep. Right? James Tony. Yep.
Before that, in case you didn't know, ex-UFC heavyweight champion Tim Silva got knocked out by Ray Mercer in the cage. Right. No one talks about that. This was the UFC champion that fought a boxer in a cage and was knocked out. You know, if you think about this, 1-1. The boxer won in the cage once. The MMA fighter won in the cage once. It's 1-1.
Yeah.
Connor jumped in the ring and got dusted off. He could have got beat a lot sooner. But Floyd dusted him off. So to be honest, right now the score is 2-1, boxer versus MMA. Yeah. So what we need is one more MMA guy to jump in the ring against a boxer. That way we've had 2 MMA guys, 2 boxers in the cage, and now we need 2 boxers in the ring. And hopefully that boxer refreshes the guy who jump in there.
Do you let me ask you this, Dewey? You know, even though you like you say you've been real cool and close to with Francis, do you think he really like retires in MMA? Do you see him taking one pro fight boxing before he calls it a day? Is that something he really wants to do?
I definitely see him doing boxing because that was his first love. Boxing was his first love, honestly. If it weren't for his dreams about being a boxer, he never would have made that trip out of Africa.
Right.
So that's something he definitely has to do just for his soul to feel fulfilled. As far as the journey that it took him to get to the point he is. Gotcha. So I really feel he's definitely gonna do a boxing fight, if not several. Remember, that was his motivation to do. MMA was something that he stumbled upon, and luckily he did. It was a great stumble because now he's the UFC champion of the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's meant for him to do a boxing fight for sure.
Okay,
for sure, 100%.
I hope we can see it because we know how Dana like to lock his guys up, man. You know, you know what Dana be like, oh no, we ain't doing that. As much as you don't get along with Oscar and De La Hoya, what he's doing, and like you said, Oscar's actually, you know, you read about it. You said Oscar's supposed to have an MMA guy in his comeback. We don't know who is that, you know, but you know who knows, man. But we know Dana like to lock his guys up. Be like, nah, you ain't.
Hey, no comment. That's up to the fighter and the management. I'm only the coach. All I want to know is who we fight, where we fight, and then we'll start working. Other than that, all the litigation, that's their lane. That's their lane. Luckily, I'm from the old school and not this new school era where you gotta try to control every fucking thing.
Yeah.
These new school dudes want to know everything.
Every single thing.
I'm the coach. I'm the coach. Who we fight? That's all I need to know. When's the fight? That's all I need to know. Because I feel like we could be anybody in the world, no matter who it is. But we do need to know the time and who, so we can prepare the game plan and work towards victory. That's all I care about. So if Dana lets him fight, awesome. If he has to wait till his UFC career's over and fight, awesome. Whatever he needs when it comes to fighting, I'm willing to help him in any way I can.
Right. Right. Okay. Well, that's what's up, man. Hey, it's out there live for the world to hear, right? Black Cobra striking systems in the house. Dewey Cooper up in here. I'm gonna ask you about 2 questions for fights tonight, and I'm pretty sure you guys will be watching with Joe Smith, Maxim Vaskov. Not sure if you know too much about him. Joe Smith is actually the light heavyweight championship.
Well, and you know we know Joe. We know Joe. He the one that B-Hop made that absolute statement. It came back to bite him.
That's right.
So yeah, we know Joe. We know Joe. I've seen him fight many times, and Joe's a surprise guy to me because when I watch him, I'm not fascinated by him, but he's knocking people out. He knows how to win. He's actually tougher than what he seems, and he got some power. So yeah, big respects to Joe Smith, man.
I mean, he's chopping down trees all day, Dewey. You know, he still has his day job in his business. So I mean, that natural grown man chopping trees down and chainsaw and cheese, you know, it's a natural sense. So I'm aside with you and, you know, agree that he gets the win. There's another fight tonight with an up-and-coming contender, drawn. Yes. In 38
I like him.
Lebanese is a hard nose, but many people give Drawn Ennis, you know, he's solid. How do you see it going?
Lipanitz, or have you pronounce it like Eastern Bloc type fighter, strong, sturdy opponent for anybody, but I think he lack a few intangibles like combination punching and good defense. He's a little too Eastern Europeanish without the, you know, head movement and swagger. I like Enos. You know, he's a very exciting fighter. I love his punching sequences and the way he put it together. And I'm expecting him to get a stoppage tonight in a tough fight until he lands that money shot. I'm expecting about an 8th or 9th round stoppage from him tonight.
You heard it from the Black Cobra. Stoppage.
Yes, he seems to be a real good candidate for a future champion. So I'm liking what I see from him thus far.
Yeah, many people believe that within 2 to 3 years, if Enos keeps up doing what he's doing, we can see a fight between him and Errol Spence Jr.
Well, the only guy I think that could possibly beat Earl is Crawford. Anybody else, they better be ready. They step into Earl. Earl reminds me of them fighters from the 80s, man. He chopping wood. You know what I mean? He gonna be coming forward, hands up, hitting that body hard, and just taking your heart from you, man. Earl's a rough go for anybody, man. Yeah, especially he comes in shape and he stays hungry. He's hard to beat, man. The only guy I would say has a chance is Terence Crawford because how dynamic Terence Crawford is. The switch hitting, we've seen him go through adversity, get up and still win, and he has speed and power too. That's why I like Crawford in that fight. Earl has different facets to his game, but I like Terence Crawford slightly better. But as far as anybody else stepping to Earl Spence, they better be ready. That Sean Porter fight showed me one thing. Sean gave Earl all he could handle.
Yes,
Earl
he did.
still got that knockdown in the 11th or 12th round or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Earl just, his power don't decease. His mentality won't decrease, and he's gonna be strong the whole way through. And I was there at the gym that day he sparred with Floyd way back when he had 11 and 12 fights.
Oh,
so
wow.
we've been knowing Earl for a long time. You know, Earl cool as a ceiling fan too. So big shots to Earl Spence, man.
Man, I hope we do get to see it instead of like 30 years from now as an expedition fight like this old fight. Never happened. I hope we do get to see Crawford and Spence soon, man. Like
I think if they keep winning within the next year and a half, 2 years, if they keep winning, they will do it. Will it be too late like the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight was? We don't know, but I think they'll get it on within the next 2 years for sure.
Right.
But they gotta keep winning to keep building that fight to make it a magnanimous fight. So I think it'll happen though, because I think both guys are so talented. I don't see anyone else beating either one of them in the next 2 to 3 years for sure.
Okay, I got you. Well, I'm gonna close out with a segment we do on our show every time with every guest, and it's called Knockout a Towel. So basically, how you answer the questions, you know, knockout means yes, throwing the towel for no, or like hell no, I would never do that. All right, but before we start this segment, I tell you to say a quote that we say to all our guests in the hashtag we do. It's called "Stop Ducking That Work," and then we can begin. All right, you ready? You got to say stop.
Hold on. Let me turn the TV off real quick. Hold on. Sorry.
Nah, you good?
Because this seems like fun. Remember the hotel? I'm at the Ocean Resort in Atlantic City. So
yeah, it's actually one of the biggest buildings in New Jersey.
Oh yeah, it's my first time being here. And okay, now you said I had to say a quote.
Yeah, you got to say stop ducking this work, because that's something I tell all my guests that we can't interview or that we want to give you, but like stop ducking this work. Come on and get in this show with me. You know, stop ducking this work. So you ready to play Knockout a Towel?
Here it is. Hey, let's stop ducking this work and let's get it.
That's what I'm talking about. Black Cobra striking system. All right. For the first question, a knockout a towel. Okay. Dewey Cooper, would you jump out of a plane or bungee jump? Knockout a towel.
I bungee jump many times, so bungee jump for sure.
Oh, knockout.
I've never jumped out of a plane, but I bungee. Yes, knockout for sure.
All right. So easy question for you. All right. So Dewey Cooper, you're offered a reality show. All right. Centered around your personal life. Do you accept it? And it pays pretty good. TV deal and all that stuff. Knockout a towel.
Knockout for sure.
My man's on the knockout streak. All right. So Dewey Cooper, it's around Halloween and stuff, you know, but you know, you're asked to go into the scariest, most intimidating haunted house ever. Does Dewey Cooper participate in the haunted houses? Knockout a towel.
Knock the hell out. I love haunted houses. I love it.
You know, Dewey Cooper, we as martial artists, man, I'm sorry. I got that instinct, man. I'm not doing it. Somebody getting clipped.
Every year I go to haunted houses.
Do you?
Year. My lady Katrina punched the guy like 2 years ago at the haunted house in Bunny Springs here in Las Vegas. She punched the guy right in the chin. That's crazy. See, I love haunted houses.
See, that's what I think will happen to me. They have to arrest me or something. Shout out to you later. All right, Dewey Cooper, you're on the knockout street right now. Let's see if we can get you. You're offer, Dewey Cooper. Do you eat ghost pepper style spicy food for your dinner? Can you take those? Knockout a towel.
Towel. I can't stand spicy food.
No ghost peppers.
I don't like onions or garlic. I eat no onions, no garlic on my food. Okay,
so look, when we meet up next time, I know to make sure that, hey, Coach Dewey don't want no garlic or onions on his food, man. Next time we go. All right. So that's a towel for that. Okay, you're in a situation where you're asked to lead an R&B group concert after the lead singer falls sick, and you're asked to carry that tune for the whole show. Can you do it, Dewey Cooper? Knock out a towel.
Towel.
See, I know you used to rap and you do some stuff.
Yeah.
You know, figure that you
singing. The background singers would have to be great, but nah, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't. I know my lane.
Yeah, well, you got to take the lead on this. All right. Next question. All right. So you're asked to eat your favorite food. What is your favorite food, by the way?
My favorite food is cookie and cream ice cream.
Okay. All right. Nothing wrong with that because I got some in the fridge. All right. Cookies and cream. So you're asked to eat some cookies and cream for a food eating competition, right? And it's going to pay you triple figures to win. Can you do it? Knock out a towel.
Knockout. Eat it all.
You ain't gonna feel good, but hey, you're gonna knock it out.
Yeah, eat it all day.
All right, my man. Look, next question. You're asked to go around the world, set a Guinness World Record on a boat, but the boat is only 30 foot long. Small boat. Set the Guinness World Record, and you're going to get paid a nice sum. But you know how long it takes to get around the world. Knock out a towel.
Towel. Because I actually get motion sickness on them damn boats. I'll be green as hell.
Yeah, on a small boat, it's going to be much worse.
Yes, couldn't do it.
Throw in the towel on that. All right.
The towel in.
Okay, so Dewey Cooper, you're still fighting, right? Next question, you're still fighting. You're in training camp, and you get a new sponsor. Your sponsor this time is Timberland, the boots company, and they want you to train in their boots. They want you to run in those boots, and they're giving you 10 G's in free Timberlands for the next 10 years for you and your family. Knock out the towel.
Knock out for sure. Big shots to the Mayweathers. Jeff and Roger used to always spar in Timberland boots every time they sparred. And for years I ran in boots. I do my road work and workout boots because Ray Robinson, all the greats did. All the old school great boxers always wore boots. With Joe Louis, these type of guys wore boots when they ran. So yeah, we did that for me. In my 20s, I always wore combat boots.
That's what's up.
Yeah, for sure. Knockout for sure.
All right, so the Timberlands ain't no different, my man. Knock it out. All right, so regardless of, let's say you still this next question. You're on a flight and you're asked to co-pilot the plane, but the co-pilot falls sick and the day is nice, it's normal, and you're basically already landed, and they're asking you to help assist land. Can you do it? Knock out a towel.
Well, I've never landed a plane, so I probably couldn't do it, but I'd still knock it out. I'd do it because I'm not about to die the goddamn plane.
Right.
Knockout.
Then my man. You're going to save us all. Like I said, the guy you want. Right. Coach Dewey's going to make it happen. Last question for you and knock out a towel. All right. Regardless of the circumstances, you're still fighting, right? And you're guaranteed a title fight for your next fight. 7-figure payday. All that stuff, right? Except your training camp has to be at least 3 months in the country of Antarctica. Can you do it? Knock out a towel.
Absolutely. I would love that because I want to
get out of here, do it. You like the cold like that?
I would love it because the cold makes you meaner. It makes your blood thicker, and it'll make you real hungry. I would love that actually. Wearing a lot of clothing, the boots, working hard, man. I would love that. I would love that. That would actually be one of my favorite things. I would love that. I love working in very, very adverse conditions, whether it's super hot. I was the guy at the Mayweather gym way back. I'll send you pictures. Middle of summer, no AC, hot as fuck. I'm wearing full sweatsuits with the surfer spandex bodysuit under it. Yeah, man, I love being either super duper hot or being in adverse cold temperatures because it just makes you, it brings out something in you. I love to be uncomfortable, especially in training. That's one of the mechanisms that really make you lock in and be hungry, because when you're in a perfect conditioned atmosphere, you think about the shit you went through to get there, and man, you cannot be stopped. You'll fight to the death. So yeah, definitely knockout.
You're the only person that's ever answered knockout to that question. Like all together.
Yeah, definitely.
My man, hey, Dewey, it's been a pleasure having you. on the Punches, Kicks, and Giggles Show, aka the PKG Show. Give out your Instagram, your Twitter, everybody for you to follow you real quick.
Yes, everyone. If you're on Instagram, please follow me. It's DC Dewey Cooper, DC Black Cobra, Cobra with a K, Cobra BLACKKOBRA. Yeah, Black Cobra.
That's right. That's
Cobra
right.
With a K. DC Black Cobra Instagram. Please follow me. If you're cool, I'll follow you back. Appreciate your time, Mr. Russell. Thank you guys. Keep martial arts alive. Remember, my creed is: if improvement is possible, perfection is not good enough. So keep working hard every day. Become a better human being.
And also, you use the kiss method, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna let you say
it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Listen.
I do it real quick before we wrap it up, man. So listen, how can everybody buy the t-shirts? Buy your shirts. Do they got to see you in person, or is it they go to your Instagram or what?
Yeah. Just hit me on the gram, and I can set that up for you. I used to have a Amazon thing, but I'm not sure if they're still doing that. So hit me up on Instagram, and I'll make it happen for you for sure. Okay.
So look, I'm gonna tell everybody this, right? There's a lot of media that will interview guys like yourself. Dewey, have no experience or whatever. I offered this to Dewey as much, and this is a respect thing I have for him. I told him I don't want to pay for the shirt. I want to earn it. I want to earn it.
Sir.
So
Yes, sir.
When I see him, y'all will see a video of me putting on some gloves and some mitts, and he's going to take me to a round. And I have to earn this respect at the age I am. I'm not a spring chicken. I'm over 40. But I'm gonna earn my shirt, because that's how much respect and love out here. I see too many people, media and journalists, asking, "Give me that, give me this," but they never worked. They never been in the ring, or they never competed it. So I'm doing something a little bit different right now.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna have him like, "Hey, present it me as as an offering, And if you know about Muay Thai, you know what offerings are." So
absolutely,
we present each other an offering, and I'll have something for him as well. Whenever we catch up in this crazy world with everything going on, then we'll link up and make that happen with the Black Cobra striking system. Man, I can't wait to see what everything's going on with you, man. Hey, I got much love to you, brother.
Yes, sir. And last thing, come by my gym, Henderson, Nevada, 659 Cape Horn Street, CAPEHORN, 659 Cape Horn Street in Henderson, Nevada, the neighboring city to Las Vegas, like a sub-city of Las Vegas. Come by. We're open 24 hours a day. 12,000 square feet. We got everything you need. Check me out. Black Cobra Striking Systems. Thank you, sir.
All right. Dewey Cooper, last thing you got to say for your fans beside that? Anything else?
No, we good. Don't miss April 23rd, PFL live on ESPN. Mr. Badman Bubba Jenkins versus Lance Palmer. It's going down.
And ladies and gentlemen, Black Cobra will be back on here. We'll try to put a word in for Bubba Jenkins and some other guys that he works in. Kevin Lee, maybe they'll be back on the Punches, Kick, and Giggles Show, because we don't want them ducking this work either, because they can get this work. Hey, Dewey, I'll holler at you, man. I'm going to talk to you online.
Yes, sir.
All right, have a good one. PKG Show.